Hello and welcome to Recyclist, and happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone. It is May 5th, 2025. I'm your host, Eric Provost, and this is your weekly roundup of all the biggest news stories from the world of waste, gas, and energy, presented by Diamond Scientific. First things first, and as always, let's take a quick look at the stock market and 5 stocks on the move from this past week in the world of waste, gas, and energy. Going into this past weekend, Waste Management was sitting at $233.94 per share. Republic Services a little above that at $250.52 per share. Ranger Energy Services was $12.32 per share. Forum Energy Technologies sitting at $15.05 per share. And Brookfield Renewable Corp actually up over 30% from 2 weeks ago, now at $28.23 per share. But first up in the news, Freedom CNG, a provider and distributor of compressed renewable natural gas in the U.S., has acquired Colorado-based X3 CNG, one of the largest operators of public access CNG fueling stations in the Rocky Mountain region, as well as Utah-based Lancer Energy, a leader in designing, building, operating, and maintaining fueling stations. The two acquisitions expand Freedom CNG's presence and clean energy infrastructure throughout the western U.S., while advancing its mission to provide sustainable fueling solutions to commercial fleets, municipalities, school districts, and other high-volume users of fuel across power, industrial, and other sectors. And up next, Glacier, an AI-enabled robotic sorter company, has raised $16 million meant to help scale its work, deploying its technology at more material recovery facilities around the country, as well as advancing its product development. Glacier also announced it has partnered with Recology in King County, Washington, to deploy robotics at Recology's Seattle location. Recology said in a press release the facility installed the technology to help increase worker safety and access recycling data that offers insights on commodity prices. And next, Waste Management celebrated the opening of its new renewable natural gas facility on the Waste Management Fairless Landfill Complex in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. The $131 million facility is expected to generate approximately 3 million British thermal units per year of RNG, which is equivalent to the energy needed to power almost 63,000 homes annually. Chris Farley, Area Vice President for Waste Management Greater Mid-Atlantic, said, quote, "Waste Management is proud to bring more renewable energy to eastern Pennsylvania and the Mid-Atlantic region as part of our continued sustainability growth strategy. Not only has this project helped bolster the local economy by creating jobs, but it also expands Waste Management's ability to capture and transform landfill gas into a lower emission energy source that can power communities and even a portion of our own natural gas truck fleet." End quote. And next, the EPA has announced $49 million in grant funding to help rural, small, and tribal communities improve wastewater infrastructure and meet Clean Water Act requirements. The funding, part of the so-called Rural, Small, and Tribal Clean Water Technical Assistance Grant Program, will be distributed to 6 technical assistance organizations. These groups will assist hundreds of communities with planning, designing, and financing essential wastewater projects, advancing the EPA's Powering the Great American Comeback initiative. EPA Senior Advisor Jessica Kramer said, quote, "Small and rural communities are the backbone of this great country, and the EPA is committed to partnering with them to provide clean and safe water. With $49 million, more communities will receive assistance for upgrading essential wastewater infrastructure." End quote. And just a quick reminder, Recyclist is a registered trademark of Diamond Scientific, an industry leader in gas analysis, instrumentation, and solutions. Make sure to visit them online at diamondsci.com. That's diamondsci.com. Or you can even set up a personalized presentation by calling 321-223-7500. Now on with the news. Going back to wastewater for just a moment, more than $105 million is flowing to wastewater projects across Cape Cod, marking a major investment in protecting the region's environment and water resources. The Cape Cod and Islands Water Protection Fund Management Board voted this past week to award the funds and subsidies to 14 projects across 10 Cape Cod towns. Christy Senatori, Cape Cod Commission Executive Director, said, quote, "Investing in wastewater infrastructure is essential to protecting Cape Cod's environment and economy. Subsidies provided by the Cape Cod and Islands Water Protection Fund help our communities advance long-needed projects that will have a lasting impact on the region." End quote. Kevin Galligan, chair of the management board, further said, quote, "The continued commitment of Cape Cod towns to wastewater and water quality projects is commendable. The fund remains a powerful tool for turning plans into action, helping protect our environment and quality of life for future generations." End quote. And up next, Hexagon Agility and Hexagon Digital Wave, subsidiaries of Hexagon Composites, have received orders from a major refuse fleet in North America, representing an estimated value of $20.6 million and spanning 3 major business segments within the Hexagon Group. Those business segments include fuel systems and mobile pipeline modules from Hexagon Agility, as well as cylinder requalification services from Hexagon Digital Wave. Eric Bippis, Chief Commercial Officer of Hexagon Composites, said, quote, "This order validates the strength of our strategy to bring together adjacent and complementary technologies under the Hexagon umbrella, serving customers from energy production to application and then aftermarket. Our customers are leading the way in deploying renewable natural gas at scale, not just because it lowers emissions, but because it makes operational and financial sense. We're proud to provide the integrated solutions and technologies that make it possible." End quote. And up next, Amethyst Incorporated, a global renewable natural gas and biofuels company, announced this past week that its Amethyst Biogas subsidiary just completed a $1.6 million sale of both California Low Carbon Fuel Standard credits as well as Federal Renewable Fuel Standard D3 RINs. Eric McAfee, chairman and CEO for Amethyst, said, quote, "Amethyst biogas production and revenues from dairy RNG continues to grow, with more biogas production from 4 more dairies planned to come online this quarter. The expected adoption of 20 years of low-carbon biofuels mandated in the next few months by CARB after completion of the OAL process is expected to increase the value of the low-carbon fuel standard credits rapidly, compounded by our expected approval of pathways for 7 dairies that will increase the number of credits generated by those digesters by an estimated 120%. End quote. And lastly, Energia Incorporated announced this past week that its subsidiary, Energia Technologies LLC, has secured a change order to provide even more engineering services and supply of equipment as part of an ongoing project with the East County Advanced Water Purification Joint Powers Authority, located in East San Diego County. The project, a water supply project now under construction in Santee, California, is expected to commence operations before the end of 2026, with the change order expecting to increase Energia's revenues from the project by $8.6 million Canadian. Mark Nimiak, director for the Joint Powers Authority, said, quote, "This development is an important step as we pursue our goal of providing a new source of high-quality water while reducing operating costs by generating energy on-site, which ultimately benefits the Joint Power Authority's ratepayers." End quote. And that will do it for your May 5th, 2025 news roundup, brought to you by Recyclist. Once again, everybody, happy Cinco de Mayo. My name is Eric Provost, and I will see you back here next week for another brand new episode of Recyclist. Thank you.